What's up guys, Anfield here. Welcome back to a new video. Today's video I'm excited to bring you some gameplay by Brett, who you may have seen me play a few times with on stream and in a few videos. But this is the first time I've actually got a video of a replay of him playing. And some of you may have actually seen this already. It was an extraordinary game. I haven't actually watched it, but I've seen the results. And it's very, very impressive. Brett, of course, is he's a fantastic player, there's no doubt about that. One of the best on NA for sure. He, of course, plays for Team Elevate, formerly Apex, in the Wargaming League NA Gold League. And they are going to be playing in the finals soon. They finished undefeated, top of the league in the online season. So hopefully for them, they will secure what should be a win in the offline playoffs as well. Of course, nothing is certain, and they'll certainly want to be working hard to make sure that they keep their good form up. But you can watch those guys play at the Wargaming League Twitch channel, and I highly recommend checking them out. So he's in the Strv, and I haven't actually played this tank on a live server. I don't own the tank, but I have played on the test server, and it's an interesting tank because it has the siege mechanic, which is obviously unique to the Swedish tank destroyer tech line. No other tanks have that sort of thing. And it means that in the siege mode, the tank has really, really good depression, really, really good gun handling, and actually has some traverse on the gun. Now, if you're not in siege mode, the gun has no traverse, which is basically, it makes it impossible to use. When you are in siege mode, though, you are incredibly slow. It doesn't take that long to switch between the two. But it is very, very slow. Now, his Bulldog is spotting for Brett sort of over here, but Brett doesn't really have any shots so far other than on that Bulldog. So he's trying to get the cross. You can see sort of where he's aiming. There's a gap there as the enemy team go up the 9-0 line. Unfortunately, the Bulldog doesn't see that properly, so he doesn't have the shots he might want, which is unfortunate because there's plenty of damage he could have gotten, especially on the mouse as he tried to cross, but I guess the Bulldog just didn't check for it properly. I don't think he's far enough up or in the right area. I think he needs to maybe be somewhere else. But regardless, he did at least get a shot on the Bulldog. He's just having a look there. I don't think he has any shots on those guys. No, he doesn't. So he's going to look. Oh, but the T-57 has backed up. Now look, look at that gun handling. Yeah, that's what you call accuracy there, boys. Very, very, very good. And this tank really does dish out the DPM. And if you set it up, such as in the Wargaming League, where you might see Brett or others play this tank, the camo factor on this tank is huge. So you can hide at the back while allies spot for you and put out really, really accurate DPM. In fact, this is one of the counters to the mouse on some maps due to its gun handling. But yeah, it's very, very lethal. It's very, very difficult to pick up and detect. And mediums can't actually overmatch the top very successfully. You need a certain caliber to do that. So it's really good. The armor does actually hold up quite well too. Of course, there is no side armor, so you really don't want to have people get on your side. But regardless, at least frontally the tank is very, very reliable, and it has a heat shield there as well, so heat ammo doesn't really pen through the lower plate. But you can see Brett's just having a look around, and you can see how slow it is to traverse when it's not in siege mode. He is struggling, but the enemy team has taken the 9-0 line. So this is where I feel you'll see the Strv really come into its own if he has enough vision, which the IS-7 is at least providing. Just a little bit too angled there on the buff mouse. Not going to get through, but able to get through the cheek there with the ultra high pen APCR that this tank has. See if he can. Oh, I think he was torn there between shooting the lower plate and the superstructure on that tank. Look at that accuracy. And the reason for that was because the JP100 was shooting or pointing down, which meant the lower front plate was much thicker than it usually would be. So he was a little bit torn between two state of minds about what he wants to shoot. But this IS-7 is doing a good job maintaining this position, and Brett is giving support fire. And you can see why this is sort of a mouse killer. Just how accurate that is. The mouse took a blind shot towards Brett, but pretty sure he wasn't lit, as far as I'm aware. But just look at that. Absolutely lethal. I mean, the mouse is incredibly good now, and this mouse player is sometimes angling his turret, sometimes not. But even when he's angling his turret, he can still pen the cheeks because of how high the pen on the APCR of this tank is. So the IS-7 did a really good job. He's sort of backed onto this hill, and you can see just how lethal this tank is once it's got some distance between it and the enemies, and also has a spotter to just basically allow him to farm off of. This IS-7 got a lot of assisted damage so far, but Brett's going to have to turn his attention to this Grill 15. He got a road wheel shot there, which meant that the Grill 15 was of course tracked. Brett's switching back to his normal APCR now because obviously he doesn't need the higher pen. And he should be able to keep this Grill 15 perma-tracked. I guess he didn't have a repair kit because he should have immediately repaired that, but guess not. If you continually do damage to the tracks, you can keep them perma-tracked, but sometimes, you know, it doesn't work because you end up hitting the hull or something else. So if you can keep hitting the track, you will keep them perma-tracked. But 5120 is trying to make a cross here, and Brett's 5120 should keep this guy lit. You can see that Brett's already done over 6,000 damage so far to the enemy team, and this is purely from holding this position. The enemy team has just been unable to assail his position because the raw DPM that he puts out, as well as the fact that his IS-7 was spotting for him. So Brett swapped to his premium APCR again to try and shoot the JP100, but it looks like his next shot may be on a Waffle 4. Now the problem is a lot of his eyes have gone now in terms of the IS-7, what it could spot, but he does still have the 5120 over there, and hopefully the 5120 will go and take a look. Brett can do a bit of his own spotting because he has binocs, but it's right on the edge. If you look on the mini-map, the smaller circle is where his edge of his view range is. Now, of course, if the tanks have any kind of camo, that view range will not be enough to detect them. The Waffle 4, of course, does have quite a bit of camo, so it's going to be quite hard for Brett to pick him up. You can see now that he's moving, his binocs are no longer effective. That's why there's an extra circle there. The green circle is, of course, his current spotting, and then the white circle is his potential spotting with binocs active. So Brett's just moving over here now. He's kind of looked and seen that there's not enough damage left on the 9-0, or there's damage, but no shots, right? So his gun's inactive, and you never want your gun to be inactive in the game. However, there's still quite a lot of enemy tanks over here, so Brett's going to try and go aggro. Look at that gun depression. Whew. A nice HE shot there. Pretty cheeky, to be honest with you, into the Borsig. But really clever to load HE for, of course, a very, very unarmored tank. But you can see just how good this gun is. And I mean, the DPM, the level of like depression you can get out of it, and everything about this tank in siege mode is really good. It's of course when you're in travel mode that you're most vulnerable. But it doesn't take all that long. Only 2 seconds to swap, so it's not too bad. He's just looking for this T-32, but I think the building is blocking him, so he's going to go aggro on him. If you can get rid of the T-32, which he should be able to get all 1200 due to the DPM on the tank, he should be able to clear out the Borsig afterwards. Yeah, nice shot into the road wheel there. He doesn't have to worry about the Borsig being able to shoot him, so he's just going to farm. T-32. He's just keeping an eye out, keeping this rock between him. Now, this is good situational awareness. You know, there's no reason for Brett to take any damage in this situation, especially considering the fact that the battle is certainly far from over. So, really good situational awareness by Brett to make sure that the Borsig could not shoot him while he was farming the T-32. Look at that. Oh, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. But you can see why this tank does get selected in League gameplay. It really is quite lethal, especially on maps like Prokhorovka. Not quite the turning radius he needed there, but he should be able to get this T-32. Perhaps he might only have superstructure shots though, so we'll see where this JP100 is. I think I said T-32, I don't really remember. It's too much talking. Get my thoughts muddled up a little bit. Anyway, alright, so he's moving back over to this ridgeline. Hopefully he should be able to clear this mouse out. He's on 9,000 damage so far. So, oh, but a Waffle is here instead. So he's going to shoot the Waffle. He should be able to get the kill. Oh no, the 5120 was actually loaded. Blind, yep, easy. No problem. 9,600 damage so far in this game. And there's still an SCRV that's been unlit. Which pretty much says it all, I guess, when you think about it. The enemy SCRV. It's the tier 9 version, but still hasn't been lit this game, but has 2 kills. So the camo factor on these tanks is very, very, very good. But Brett's telling his allies to take cover and make sure they don't suicide and die. Brett has hit points, so he's willing to take the hits so the SRV is lit, and then his allies would hopefully be able to fire from safety. And there is the JP100, 1,000 hit points left on that guy. He's going to come over at Brett, but Brett is too clever for that. So I'm just going to cut this because for some reason my game alt tab, which ruined the recording, I don't really know why. But this shot is very, very clever. Basically, you shoot into the road wheel of the tank, and when it's coming over a crest like this, and instead of just shooting out into the tracks and going through as if it was on level ground, it shoots up into the hull. So not only do you do damage to the tank, but you also keep them tracked. So really, really nice shooting there by Brett to clean up that JP100 safely. A lot of people would have just simply gone for the lower plate and then, you know, potentially taken a lot of damage. So really, really clever play there by Brett. And he's now going to look for this STRV, which was finally lit over here on the 1-2 line. Brett's done 10,620 damage so far. So we're getting closer to the tally of the end here. Of course, only the STRV left. He's just going to take a look for him now. Now, he doesn't have his commander. He's using rations instead, so he must have brothers in arms on this tank. So I was going to say he's not going to know whether he's lit or not, but unfortunately that was a miss. He, of course, does know he's lit. It's pretty obvious. He's getting a little unlucky here. Let's see if he can get him. You can see how that lower plate is doing against Brett. Or excuse me, against Brett's allies. And that's the reason why Brett wasn't going for the lower plate there. He didn't want to risk not being able to pen due to the lower caliber. Obviously, most tank destroyers have quite a high caliber, but look at that camo. Look at that camo. Anyway, insane. So the final tally of damage is 11,000 listed, but there's blind damage. And I think the total tally was just over 12,000. I'll link the replay here so you can take a look at the replay and watch it in your own time if you so choose. But regardless, yeah, a really, really nice battle by Brett. And I think that's the highest SCRV game that's actually listed on what replays. Of course, it's a huge amount of damage. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you maybe even learned something from watching Brett play. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.